The Sims 2 is a life simulation game where players create and control virtual people, called Sims, in a variety of settings. The game allows players to design and build homes, choose careers, form relationships, and explore new areas. While The Sims 2 was highly praised for its immersive gameplay and innovative features, some critics argue that the game is overrated due to its repetitive gameplay and lack of significant updates from the original game. The graphics, while improved, are still not up to par with other simulation games on PS2. Some players may also find the game's focus on domesticity and mundane tasks to be uninteresting and even frustrating. Despite its popularity, The Sims 2 may not appeal to players who are looking for more action-packed and exciting gameplay. Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 is a simulation game where players build and manage their own theme park. The game allows players to design roller coasters, attractions, and manage staff while keeping guests happy. The game was released on the PlayStation 2 in 2005 and became popular due to its unique gameplay. However, the game is often considered overrated because it lacks depth and replayability. The objectives in the game are limited and can become repetitive quickly. Additionally, the graphics and controls on the PlayStation 2 version are not as good as the PC version, which can be frustrating for players. Overall, while Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 may be a fun game to play for a short while, it falls short in comparison to other simulation games on the PlayStation 2. Zoo Tycoon is a simulation game where players are tasked with managing their own zoo.
And PlayStation 3 were coming.
They need to build
Microsoft had an
habitats for
ace
animals,
up their
hire
sleeve,
staff,
and they announced that Zoo Tycoon would be coming out on the Xbox One.
The game has a variety of modes, including a tutorial, campaign, and freeform mode.
They talked about how revolutionary
Zoo Tycoon is considered an overrated simulation game on PS2 because it lacks depth and variety compared to other simulation games.
Eventually you just can't.
While it may be fun for a short while, the gameplay can become repetitive and stale.
Or less interactive.
Additionally, the graphics and animations are subpar, making it difficult to fully immerse oneself in the game world.
Zoo Tycoon games, yeah, they were simulation games out there, especially on computers than what the Xbox One has to offer.
But there are many other simulation games on PS2 that offer more engaging and fulfilling gameplay experiences.
And the dinosaurs look awesome.
SimCity 4 is a city-building simulation game where players manage a virtual city by constructing buildings, roads, and other infrastructure. The game features realistic simulation of various aspects of city management, including transportation, public services, and zoning. While SimCity 4 received critical acclaim upon its release, it is now considered one of the most overrated simulation games on the PS2 due to its complex and often frustrating gameplay mechanics. The game's steep learning curve and challenging difficulty make it less accessible to casual gamers, and it can be time-consuming and tedious to manage even small cities. Additionally, the game's graphics and user interface have not aged well, making it visually unappealing compared to more modern city-building games. Overall, while SimCity 4 may have been a groundbreaking simulation game in its time, it is no longer considered a must-play title for fans of the genre. Theme Park Roller Coaster is a simulation game for the PlayStation 2 console that allows players to design and manage their own theme park. The game includes various attractions such as roller coasters, shops, and food stands that players must strategically place and manage to ensure their park's success. However, despite its popularity, Theme Park Roller Coaster is considered one of the 9 overrated simulation games on PS2. This is because the game lacks depth and becomes repetitive quickly. The graphics and gameplay are also outdated compared to other simulation games on the market. Additionally, the game's controls can be difficult to master, making it frustrating for players to fully enjoy the experience. In conclusion, Theme Park Roller Coaster is a simulation game that offers a fun concept but falls short in terms of overall execution. Its lack of depth and outdated graphics make it an overrated game for the PS2 console. Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life is a farming simulation game released for the PlayStation 2 in 2004. Players take on the role of a young man who has inherited a farm from his father. The goal of the game is to build up the farm, raise animals, and build relationships with the other characters in the game. The game has been criticized for its slow pace and lack of meaningful progression. Some players have also found the game to be overly simplistic and repetitive, with little to do beyond basic farming tasks. Despite these criticisms, Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life has developed a devoted fan base over the years. Many players appreciate the slow, relaxing pace of the game, and enjoy the opportunity to build up their virtual farm over time. Overall, while Harvest Moon, A Wonderful Life has its flaws, it remains a beloved title among players who enjoy the simulation genre. Whether or not it deserves its place on the list of overrated games is a matter of personal opinion. The URBZ Sims in the City is a life simulation game released on PlayStation 2. The players create and customize their own avatar and control their life in the city. The game includes various tasks like finding a job, interacting with other characters, and upgrading the living space.
There's a lot.
The game is considered overrated because it lacks depth and becomes repetitive quickly. The game's storyline is limited, and the gameplay mechanics are not innovative enough to keep the players engaged. The graphics and sound are also subpar compared to other simulation games on PlayStation 2. Overall, the URBZ Sims in the City does not offer enough variety and excitement to keep players entertained for a prolonged period. It is one of the most hyped simulation games on PS2, but it fails to meet the expectations of the players. The Movies is a simulation game on PS2 that allows players to create and manage their own movie studio. The game involves hiring actors, building sets, directing films, and managing the studio's finances. It also has a movie-making feature that allows players to create their own films using in-game assets. While The Movies was well received for its unique gameplay and creative features, it is considered one of the overrated simulation games on PS2. This is because the game has several flaws, including a lack of depth in certain areas, such as the filmmaking feature. Additionally, the game can become repetitive and tedious as players progress, leading to a lack of long-term engagement. Despite its flaws, The Movies remains a popular and beloved simulation game among fans of the genre. Prison Tycoon is a simulation game where players take on the role of a prison warden, managing a prison and its inmates. The game allows players to build and customize their own prison, hire staff, and oversee daily operations such as food and recreation. However, despite its popularity, Prison Tycoon is considered one of the overrated simulation games on PS2. The game's graphics are outdated and the gameplay mechanics are clunky. Additionally, the game's AI is often frustratingly predictable. There are also limited customization options available, making the game feel repetitive after a short time. Overall, while Prison Tycoon may have been popular at the time of its release, it cannot compete with more modern simulation games that offer better graphics, more advanced AI, and more engaging gameplay mechanics.